Hi everyone. Lots of people have been asking about how we went about making our videos for parents, our new entrants meeting, and some of the other videos we've made. So I just thought I'd do a really quick tutorial to show you just how easy it is. I've never done any of this kind of thing before, but with a couple of simple bits of equipment, an iPad that's got iMovie and an iPhone, you can make videos just like we've been doing, basically. So whether you are working in early years or a teacher or one of our pupils in year 3 or 4 or 5 or 6, hopefully this video will be helpful and you can learn how to make videos of your own. Okay, so the first thing you need to think about is the equipment you're using. I've been using just an oldish iPhone and an iPad. And that's really helpful because the iPhone is what I've been recording on, and then I've been popping it on the iPad to use iMovie so that I can edit things together. But obviously you can record on any device. People have been sending me videos using any of their Android phones. It doesn't matter what you record on really, it's absolutely fine. So, first step is you need to think about what is the content of your video. You need to script it out so that it's got some kind of order. You can tell I haven't scripted it out brilliantly today. You need to think about what you're going to film, where you're going to film, who's involved in that bit, and the order. Because if it follows a logical sequence, then people will be able to engage with it much better. Where possible, we've been filming outside because when you film outside, the light is great, all of that kind of thing. However, if it's windy, then forget it. So watch the weather forecast, pick a day that's sunny or dry or wet even, but not too windy, because as soon as you have wind, you have the noise coming from the microphone and it doesn't work so well. Okay, so then all you need to do is film. So you can do it really simply by filming yourself. So I'm just going to turn my camera around and say, oh, no, that's a photo. So I turn my camera around and I'm just going to film myself on my own phone. I've just flipped the camera around so it's like in selfie mode, I guess. And you can just talk to the camera and make your clip. Or if you've got a phone like I have in a case, then you can prop it up and then stand it on something at a good height, and then you can film away to your heart's content without having to have someone film it for you. Or you can ask a friend to hold your phone and film, and that works too. Okay, so once you've worked out what you want to film, get your film clips done and saved. So I've got my clips that I filmed on my phone and I've got iMovie on my iPad. So what you need to do is get your clips into iMovie. So if you click on your gallery, and what we're going to do is just share or select the films that you want to put them on there. So I'm going to choose all of these wonderful clips, haha. And oh, it's quite nice too. So I'm just going to airdrop them over. Now, if you haven't got an Apple phone, an Apple device, you can email it to yourself and it can come in that way. However you can get one thing to another, that's fine. But that's the great thing about iPads and iPhones, that they can just talk to each other, and AirDrop is an easy way to do that. So now I don't need my phone anymore really at the moment. So I'll just put that away. And everything I need to make my videos is hopefully on my iPad. But if not, I can soon sort that out. So then you just go to iMovie, open it up, you can see some of our recent projects there, and go to a new movie. When you're on there, you just need to select some of the clips or videos that you know you want to use. So I can't remember which order they go in, but it's those ones, and we'll come back to that photo later. So once you've got that, what you need, then you just click on Create Movie at the bottom, and it puts them all in to a movie. There I am. So let's see if that's in the right order. Hi everyone. Lots of people have been asking about how we went about making our videos. Okay, that looks okay. So it's as simple as that. Your clips are already in iMovie, ready to go. Okay, so the first thing you need to think. Okay, and they're in the right order, I think. Let's have a look at the last one. Stop there. So I just can film myself. Okay, so if the clips weren't in the right order and you wanted to move them, to get them in the right order, or you've changed your mind about the order, you can just click on the clip and hold, and then you can just move it and drop it where you want. But actually they are in the right order, so we'll just leave that there. Okay, so the next thing to do is to just listen through, and you're going to want to crop some of these to get a really good finish. So there I am smiling at the beginning, saying nothing. So you click on the movie itself, and you can see at the bottom you've got a crop action, a speed action, a volume, a titles and filters. So obviously for this you just want your crop, and there's a couple of options. You can split it, which will just cut it wherever you click on it. Select that, otherwise it won't do anything. Or you can drag. So you can drag and play. Still not quite right, so click on it again, drag and play. Oh, I've got my eyes shut at the beginning, not brilliant. Okay. Hi everyone, lots of people have been asking. Okay, so the next thing you're going to want to think about is the transitions. So this transition here, if we click on that, you can see that it's a 1 second transition. You can choose any of those amounts. You can have dissolving or sliding or wiping, or if you want it just to be really tight, you're filming something where somebody's passing something on to someone else or whatever, you can just click on none, and then it won't have any transition at all. So it jumps straight in. So that's that. If you do want a transition, like a dissolve, often I put on, then that's a short dissolve. You can just see the difference, just a bit smoother. So depending on what you're doing, you can play around with the transitions. Let's show you a couple of other things. So another really useful thing is you can speed up and slow down. So if you're modeling something and you want it just to go super fast, then you can just move towards the hare. And if you want it to go slow, you move towards the tortoise. Now, if you move towards the hare, you then sound like a chipmunk. And obviously we don't really want to sound like chipmunks most of the time. So what you can do is just click on that and then click on your volume, and you can turn the volume right down so that you don't sound like a chipmunk. There we go. Can't hear it. Or for that matter, if you've got your video and it's not clear enough, you can't hear whoever's talking, you can just ramp that right up and it'll be much louder. But probably before we do that, we probably should just change the speed back to normal. And of course, you can also go super slow as well. But obviously for the purpose of this, it's just going to be normal speed. But we have used the speeding up, especially when we're modelling crafts, things like that. When someone's taking, a while to cut something out, it sort of works better. So, videos using any of their... Once we're happy with that, we can do other things too. So one of the useful things is adding a title. Lots of different options for titles. Whatever you want to use, you can use. This one always types into capitals. This one down here does lowercase as well. So if you want to do an email address or something like that, then, or a web address, then you can do that. So you just click on the title, take out what's already there, and just put in what you want, as you normally would. And put that down, and that's got it at the bottom. You could have it, you can choose where you want it sometimes. Sometimes it doesn't give you that option. Sometimes you can move it around. So that's that. And then when you press play, that's just there for the whole of that clip. So if you want that title to just be on a short amount of the clip, then what I would do is I would go back to actions and split. Okay, and so then you've got the title here, but you haven't got it this side. That split can help you put your text or your music or whatever it is where you want it to be. Okay. So let's go back to this for a minute. Another thing that I'll just quickly show you is you can actually detach the audio. So if you've got a video and you actually want to record a voiceover or put some music on, instead of just turning the volume on, you can detach the audio and it puts it into a separate run for you. Okay, so you don't have to have it all joined up to the video, but for the purpose of what we're doing today, I'm going to leave it joined on. another couple of things. Soundtracks. There's lots of soundtracks already in iMovie, and if you click themed soundtrack, you can pick which one it is you want. And then if you come out of it and play, so just going to turn the camera around and say, this green bar here is where the sound track has been added, and then your normal video audio is there. Now, if your soundtrack is too loud, I've seen this on a few videos, then you can change the volume of your soundtrack. So turn the camera around and... Okay, so you don't have to have it superimposing, you can have it superimposing. Film yourself talking to the video like that. So you can just balance that out. When you come to an end of a talking piece, so if you've got a video clip here with no sound on there, then it will automatically increase the volume of your background soundtrack. But if you don't want a soundtrack, I'm just going to delete that for a minute. There are also lots of other soundtracks because quite quickly you get bored of the ones in there. So go to audio at the bottom here, go to soundtracks, and there's loads more. Okay, you click on it, you can listen to it and just go for one you want. So think about your movie, think about the message you're trying to communicate, and pick one that's going to suit that. Just be wary, some of the soundtracks have got singing words on, and that doesn't super work for when you're making a movie. So let's listen to that all together. Hi everyone. Lots of people have been asking. You may well want to put photos or other things onto your video. And the way you do that is go back to media. So you've got media and audio there, the two different menus. And if you want to put a photo on, then you can do that easily. So we could put our palm trees on, and all you've got to do is find the photo, click on the one you want, and add the add button. And that will add a palm tree right at the end. And let's just listen to the audio. Stop the camera and make your clip. Okay, so you can make photos long, so they take, so that they're on for a long time. You can make them short, whatever you want to do. A really useful tip is you can pinch to position the start. So what that means basically is I want to start my photo here, then click on the one underneath, pinch to position the end, and you can say where you want it to end up. Let's have a look. And make your clip. So it scrolls through. It scrolls through using those positions. You've got another option that you can have it not moving at all. So if you click on the Ken Burns disabled, no idea why it's called that, then wherever you've got it, it will show that. So if I think actually that's great, but I want to move it, then I can just move it. Oh, let's have a close up of the flowers. There we go. But I quite like the moving photo option. Right, so let's go back to playing around with these functions on the screen here. So if I've got a video and I've got a brilliant shot of my radiator in there and I don't really want that, I can click on the pinch to zoom, which is that magnifying glass up there, and I can just play around with that. So there we go. I can just get rid of that wall and that radiator and just have a close-up view. So if you want to zoom in on something that you've recorded or someone's recorded, then you can do that. Top tip is just to scroll through and see if at any point you've cropped off something that you really don't want to, like your head. But that looks okay. So you're just going to play that through before you do anything with it, obviously. What else is useful? So back to the photos again. So photos are in that media option. So go back to photos. Let's click all, or you can do recently added to find the ones that you want. Another few options with pictures. So our school logo. So if you click on the add, then it will just add it in, won't it? But if you click on the dots, you've got some other options there. So you can have a cutaway, picture in picture, split screen, etc. We do quite a lot of picture in picture, and you can see it just adds it to the top there and then pops it on your screen. And then if you want to play around with that, you can make that stay on for longer, or you can, same as the other clips, you can hold it and drag it and put it where you want it to be. So let's just put it maybe here. And also sometimes obviously you don't want it right in the middle of your face or whatever. So you can just click to the middle one to reposition. Okay, you can shrink, you can enlarge, you can do all sorts of things with that. You can put it where you want it to be, basically. This function here just adds or removes a border. So that's quite a helpful top tip. So I might just extend that so it goes all the way through my video. Now back to these photos. I don't really need a palm tree photo on this, so I'm going to delete that again. So it's the same function as before. Got a nice red face there. We've created a slide that we can add on to the end of our videos to help people find our social media pages. Now the little cloud here means it's on the cloud rather than on my phone because I haven't used it for a while. So you click on that and it gives you your options again. And then I'm just going to add that photo and it just puts it on there. So when I scroll through,
and make your click.
It will just click to that. If I want that to be longer, I'm just going to drag it. If I want it to be shorter, I shorten it. Okay, so we've looked at the cropping actions, which we're on at the moment, which is where you can split or detach or whatever. There's also a duplicate button there. So if, I've used this quite a lot when we've been doing funny outtake videos, but if you want to repeat something over and over again, you can just duplicate and it will add it in again. Now, if you add a video and you've already got a soundtrack, sometimes it will add it with no volume. And if that's the case, you just click on your video, go to the volume and adjust the volume. But this one is done fine because it was a duplicate. So I've talked through the speed, we've talked through the volume, that's quite straightforward. Looked at the titles. The other one is filters. So if you're having a bad hair day, you're looking a bit pale, you can just play around with your filters to do something a little bit different, but you can usually, it's quite clear when you've done it, so generally I just leave it on none, but you can play around with those. In terms of getting started, I think that's probably about it. We use quite a lot of cutting to photos and things like that because that's quite nice to see. The other thing is if you have got photos and you want to just do a voiceover talking about what that photo is, then you can record a sound clip and then import that onto your iPad and add that on. So I hope that's really helpful. I hope it's useful. Have a go. It's much simpler than you think. When you've finished your video, you just click on the done button. And there it is, my movie, just like that. You can click on that and change the title. So it's a bit of a how-to, isn't it? And that gives it a title. If you're happy with it and you think, right, that's my finished movie, I'm going to use that now, just click on this share button at the bottom. And you can email it, you can airdrop it. I generally tend to save it. You can choose what kind of resolution you want. I tend to go for that. It will export the movie, it will put it in your gallery, and then you can share it in any way you choose. So that's about it for now. I hope it's been helpful, and see you again soon.